I get frustrated thrifting sometimes because I feel like I can never find anything good. Like, I live in too small of a town. The thrift stores are just not going to be full of the good stuff. The thing is, when you go to your local thrift shop, the quality, if you live in a really big city, for example, I used to live in Washington, D.C., a few thrift stores there where you could find amazing things like suits tailored in Switzerland from Italian silk for next to nothing. I've never seen anything like that in central Kentucky, and sometimes I get a little frustrated. So I wanted to do an experiment. Thrift stores, they do get new donations all of the time, and you really just never know what you're going to find. I decided the concept of thrifting, I love it because I love the idea of not letting things go to waste, giving things a second chance, a second life. I love having access to higher quality goods than I'd be able to buy if they were brand new. But since I'm trying to be more intentional about my wardrobe this year and only bring in pieces that are good quality and that I absolutely love, I'm wondering, will I be able to find what I am looking for exactly at a thrift store? Or am I going to have to leave my thrifting days behind me? Thrift stores tend to be absolutely loaded with clothes, and you have to check the racks very carefully. You have to take your time. You have to go through each rack, look at each garment, paying attention to the materials, the quality, the construction. And then they might not even have exactly what you want. So you might go through everything and be tired and exhausted and not find a single thing worth stopping for. To do an experiment and go to the Goodwill that's local to me 4 weeks in a row and see what I found. So I usually don't go consistently, and I decided to go every week and just see. I wanted to notice like what turned over, how the inventory was from week to week, and what I could find week to week. And also, if I left something in the store, when I came back the following week, would it still be there? How fast does this inventory move? So come along with me. I'm going to show you a bit of each of my 4 trips to this Goodwill, what I found, what I ended up bringing home. I did make a wish list of items that I want to acquire this year. And it was super, I've never done that. It was actually very helpful to have that in mind as I went to the store, and it did help keep me focused. This week that I went, kind of an unusual day there because they were doing some remodeling. So one section of the store was totally blocked off. Luckily, it was the book section, not the clothes. Just a side note about thrift stores, I was able to go on a Tuesday morning. Once I had to go Thursday morning, but it was 3 Tuesdays and 1 Thursday morning. It's better if you can swing it to go on those off-peak times. I would say Tuesday morning is definitely an off-peak time. It was a little crazier on Thursday. This Goodwill seems to do a pretty brisk business even on a Tuesday morning. So Thursday was pretty packed. I would hate to see that place on the weekend. Went right when they opened. Get into a fitting room and just take my time. I didn't have people waiting. Really nice because I like to take my time in the fitting room. I like to film myself wearing the clothes and really do some pretty hard thinking. So usually they have a limit of items you can take in the fitting room, but they have a really sweet sales clerk at this Goodwill. And this is another bonus of having like a thrift store you frequent. She knows me, and I come in with my little daughter, and so she told me one day, she was like, just push your cart in there, don't even worry about it, let your daughter go in, take some toys and she can play, and don't worry about the 5-item limit. In that first week and each week, I would start by checking which color tag was 50% off. At Goodwill, they've got, every week the tags are all different colors on the merchandise. On the clothing only, the home goods and stuff, they all stay the same price. But the home goods are like, they'll be tagged with purple or green or yellow, and each week one color is 50% off, which is awesome because they raised their prices at Goodwill. I think it was 3 years ago now, and I still remember sort of the shock. They raised them quite significantly, and so it's not quite as thrifty fun to go in there as it used to be, but the 50% off takes some of the bite out of it. So I will definitely keep my eyes peeled for the color as I'm going down the racks. And then I'll start browsing the shirts, usually, because that's the first thing there. Sometimes I start with the outerwear because that's back by the toys where my daughter loves to go. Goodwill is her favorite store. And so anyway, I start going through them just the way you would one hanger at a time, and I'll push back and look at the piece. And usually it's a color that'll catch my eye, and I'll, hold the sleeve out. And if it's something I like, I'll feel the fabric, because a lot of times the fabric alone will decide it for me. If it feels like Ramie and rayon are pretty much nightmares, I think that they just look like baggy and icky really soon after like a couple washes. So if they're not a good feel fiber, I will stay away. I'm willing to look at if it's polyester, because polyester is very hard wearing, but I really do prefer the natural. I love cotton, of course, and linen and wool and cashmere and silk. And yes, that stuff is in abundance at the thrift store, along with all of the other synthetics as well. So if I like the feel of the fabric, then I will allow myself to look and see what brand it is. I try not to look at the brand right away, but if it's a brand, after I've decided I like the fabric, if I see it's a brand I like, and any other brand, it doesn't really matter. I'm just saying, like, I will notice the brand at that point, and that might make me just a little. But I'll go through the whole store by category, because that's the way Goodwill is arranged. I'll go through the shirts, and I'll go through the sweaters, then outerwear, skirts, dresses. So this first week I went, I found this really awesome, it must have been hand sewn, quilted jacket. And I absolutely loved it, and it fit. A lot of jackets, they just don't fit me, and I really liked it, but it wasn't half off, and I was trying to be very strict, and I was like, well, is this really perfect? Like, a few months ago, I would have bought it, no, not even thinking about it, I just would have bought it. But I thought, is this really what I'm looking for? And I thought, well, I am looking for a quilted jacket, but I want a quilted jacket for the spring, and these are really winter colors. And it's not exactly the shape that I'm looking for. I really wanted this certain shape. And most importantly, it's not the colorway that I want. I really want to get away from wearing black up by my face. I think it's ironic because I think this is black right up by my face. But it was black and red, and I've been thinking a lot about colors that I like to wear. And red is my favorite color, but I don't like to wear it. I like to see it. But when I wear it, I feel kind of hot. I don't like it. I actually like to wear cool colors. I've realized, like, I like to wear cool blue, which surprised me. I didn't really realize that till a couple weeks ago. And black are just not colors that I really want to have a lot of, if any, in my wardrobe. And so you know what I'll do? I really like this. It was really hard for me. It was difficult. I almost went back that same day and got this thing. But I thought I will put it back. And next week, maybe the tag color will be green, because it had a green tag. And if the tag color is green and it's 50% off, I will buy it. Put it back, and I'll tell you what happened next. Then I found this Ann Taylor pencil skirt that was navy, this kind of lace. Just loved it. I love pencil skirts. I think I have worn that thing every other day since I bought it for this past month. I'm really liking it. Left the store with my one skirt. So I went back 1 week later, and I was definitely looking for that quilted jacket I wanted to see. I walked in, and immediately I saw the 50% off color was green, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I go right over to the jackets and blazers, and it was gone. Just gone. And you know what? I felt fine. I was like, okay, no problem. I didn't really want it anyway. And the truth is, I didn't. I want a quilted jacket, but I don't want that one. Through the store the same way, looking especially for things with the green tag. We started in the back because my little girl dragged me back to the toys first. And so while she was right next to me looking at toys, I browsed through all of the coats, which were right next to the toys. And I found some really gorgeous coats. There was one that I think, if it wasn't camel hair, it was wool, too big. And the lining at the bottom was kind of not the greatest, but I was impressed that it was at Goodwill. And I thought, if I needed a coat, which I don't, I could have taken that one and gotten it tailored a little smaller and maybe cut the bottom off, and it could have been a really awesome coat. Maybe sew down that lining at the bottom. And I also found this silver leather jacket. I loved this little silver coat so much when I tried it on. I don't think of myself as someone who likes to wear leather coats. I don't really, but I think the fact that it was silver, it was just so fun. Unfortunately, it was too tight. It would not zip. A prior me a year or two ago, I would have just bought it anyway and been like, oh, I'll just wear it open. But I don't think that's a good look. I think your stuff, your jackets should actually be able to close over you. I think otherwise it doesn't look quite right. So cool. But I did realize I would love to have a statement piece like that in my wardrobe. I would love to style it with a dress. I would love to style it with jeans. I would love to style it with a skirt. I mean, it would go with everything. And the downside of thrifting is you can't just ask the sales clerk to bring you the next size. There's usually just one. I did find this Gap Breton striped, very thick long sleeve t-shirt sweatshirt. Also, I tried on a bunch of t-shirts because I was thinking about summer, and I thought, I don't really have any t-shirts at the moment at all for summer, none. And I'm just gonna look and see what they have. And as I was looking, I realized I really like blue because pretty much every t-shirt I picked out was blue. And when I tried them on and I was filming myself, I also realized I should not wear thin material t-shirt. It just shows every lump and bump, and it's not flattering. But this particular Gap one was very thick, almost like a sweatshirt, and I just fell in love with it. And it actually has little elbow patches as well. And I really liked it, and it was 50% off. It's a great layering piece to go under things, especially this time of year. Really loving it, couldn't be happier with it. I really would like to have a summer purse. I have this one Dooney & Bourke purse that I use all the time, but in the summer, at some point, a leather purse starts to feel just too heavy and hot in those days in July and August, and you just want to have just something lighter. So I found several The Sack purses at Goodwill that time. Decided that I would buy this really nice navy blue one. I checked and tested and made sure it fit my wallet, which I needed to fit. I like to carry a smaller bag because I don't like to be stuffing junk in my purse all the time. And I thought this would be a perfect summer bag. I'd still like to get an African market basket, but that would be, I would then put the sack inside of it. 50% off color was yellow. I realized that I have gotten way pickier, and I've grown more confident in being pickier in just 3 weeks of shopping. Inventory at this store changes and turns over incredibly fast, faster than I would have thought for the good stuff. But there's a lot of people out there probably exactly like me who are looking for quality and snap it up when they see it. But it's good too, because then the inventory changes. This third week I found something I was first really excited about. It was a pink wool, I think it said hand knit, made in Ireland sweater cardigan, which I had been looking for a cardigan in my size. So of course I scooped that up to try on. And then I grabbed this burgundy velvet blazer to try on. I do not really like to wear blazers. I know a lot of people go around saying they're like this essential basic. I don't know why, because they just, I don't know. I don't tend to like them. But this material was so gorgeous, and the lining was this satiny, thick, it was like a peach color, and it was really well done, and there were no markings in it of any time. I think it was really quite vintage, and it was gorgeous. So I grabbed that to try on, and unfortunately I ran into the problem again where it just won't close over my chest. And I was really sad about it because I loved that blazer, but I did learn something. I realized something about myself. I love velvet. I love that fabric and material. I think it's so soft and elegant without being flashy, which brings me to the next thing I tried on, which was a sequin top with 3/4 length sleeves and a boat neck, which are things I love, and these little sequins, and it was a J. Crew. It was very nice. And I think it looked really nice on me, and I thought about getting it maybe for like to develop a date night ensemble, or I even thought, could I just wear this on a day-to-day basis? And I thought about it for a long time, but then I thought, you know what, no, I don't know. I just don't see this fitting in. I don't see myself wearing this unless it's New Year's or something, and I like to wear a dress on special occasions and not do separates, so I don't think this is really going to work for me. And it wasn't 50% off either, so again I told myself, if I come back next week and this is half off, I might get it, because it did fit really well, and I'm sure I could find a cool way to style it even with jeans, and it could be really fun. I did find these boat shoes, and this is like a new addition to my wish list from some things I've been researching. I realized I would like to have a pair of loafers, I put them on and I just absolutely loved them. I thought they were so cute, but I wasn't sure about the quality. So I ended up Googling the brand right there in the fitting room. And it turns out that they're this sustainable shoe brand. You can take out the foam insert and wash it. Well, at that point I was sold because I would like to wear them in the summer, in the warmer months when your feet are kind of sweaty. And I thought they were so cute. This was the time I had to go on a Thursday morning instead of a Tuesday morning, and it was definitely probably 30% busier than I'm used to. I guess just because it's getting close to the weekend. Oh, maybe too, they were done with all their construction and everything was back in place, and it looked like they had done some kind of huge restock because everything was just full. Found a ton of stuff to try on, just a ton. I found an Ann Taylor sage green coat, which again, it wouldn't close. It didn't even look like it was meant to close. It almost looked like it was meant to be a shrug because it was my size. And it reminds me of things people were wearing just everywhere a few years ago. And I'm still kind of tired of that look. So I just put it back. Plus, like I said, I want things to close over me if it's a cardigan style. But I did realize that I love that sage green color. I think that's a really good color on me. So just try things on, even if you know you don't need or want one right now. Just if you want to get an idea of what colors do I really like. And what I've also noticed from doing this is, and watching the footage of myself in the fitting rooms, is when I like something, I'll be smiling when I'm like filming myself with my phone. And just like involuntarily, because I like the thing that I'm wearing. And I can tell when I don't like something because I'll either just be neutral, or sometimes I'm even like, ugh, you know, which obviously I hate it. But yeah, just I'll go back and look sometimes and I'm like, oh, see, I really like that. I'm like grinning from ear to ear because that's something that I like. I tried on a bunch of different skirts, which was really fun because I learned some things about what I like in skirts and what I think looks good on me. And I do think I like the pencil skirt very much. Going to be my new go-to skirt. I do love the full skirts, but I think the pencil skirt is probably gonna be my go-to. And then the more like A-line skirts, I don't think they just don't do as much for me. But the pencil skirts I like. Are searching for your own style and you're not sure what it is, I mean, certainly you could go to a large department store where they've got all kinds of different styles of things and try on a whole bunch of things. But I think for that purpose, Goodwill really works well too, because they've got stuff from all different time periods and all different stores, all different styles. And learning a lot about what I like and don't like just from trying stuff on, even if it's just for fun at Goodwill. And I'm really learning a lot about what I like. So give it a try. It's fun too if you have a couple hours. I found a beautiful J. Crew dress, and you can see I'm smiling right away. Now, white I was not planning on having as a basic color in my wardrobe because it's white. I hate white t-shirts. Everyone's like, get a white t-shirt. I'm like, white? Are you kidding me? Like, but this dress, I thought, you know what, it's all white and it would be great for summer, maybe as the beach cover up I'm looking for, maybe just as a dress for a special fun occasion. But it was in pristine condition, and I knew if I didn't snap it up that day it was going to be gone because it was really in perfect shape. It didn't look like it ever been worn. I also found for half off some Banana Republic jeans. I did try them on mainly because they were half off and they were Banana Republic, and they have a pattern on them. So I do like clothes with embellishment, so I had to try these on, and I did end up getting them. They fit me, and I was a little hesitant because I've read that the baggy jean style is going to be big this year and skinny jeans are going to be out, and these are a pair of skinny jeans, but that's okay. I mean, I think at the end of the day they're just jeans, and jeans are jeans. On this striped skirt, I really liked how it fit. It has some rayon mixed in with the polyester, which rayon, my mom hates rayon, and so I was raised being like, rayon, because it just falls apart and pills and looks bad. And I put it on the put back rack, and then when I was checking out, I was like, oh, I think I'll just get that skirt anyway. It was half off, and I really liked how it fit. Then I found these Banana Republic silky long kind of Bermuda long shorts, except they're so wide they kind of look like a skirt, and for some reason I just fell in love with these. I thought they were so cool, and they're really slouchy and loose and fun, and I was thinking I could wear these with tights and leg warmers in the winter. I could wear them certainly in the summer, and so I just went ahead and got them. It was kind of an impulse buy. I think this might serve as my summertime skirt. It wasn't half off or anything, but I knew it would be gone when I came back. By week 4, I had gotten very picky about fit and fabric and much more confident about being picky. And I had learned a lot about what silhouettes that I like. Pencil skirts are my favorite, and tops that are loose over my tummy, gloss over my lumps and bumps that I wish weren't there. And so that makes me feel good. My conclusion is, even if you think that your local thrift store near you never has anything good, keep going back. I think you will be surprised. The key to successful thrifting is to keep an open mind and be patient, and above all, to have fun with the process. Thank you so much for watching my Goodwill thrift haul, and I will see you in the next video. Happy thrifting.